Hello BookTube. Today I'm doing the H tag. This is part of my reprise of the alphabet tags created several years ago by Jim of Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff, and I'll leave a link to his channel in the show notes down below. H is for Harry Potter. Would you prefer to travel to Hogwarts in a flying car or on the Hogwarts Express? I don't like Harry Potter. I've often said if I were 10 years younger, Harry Potter might have been one of the foundational books and series that formed me as a reader. But by the time I became aware of Harry Potter, my literary interests had already moved into a more adult direction. Now, if we're going to take this tag literally, that I could go to a magical castle either by flying car or magical train, I'd probably take the train. It would be a more scenic flight, and also, the idea of flying cars have never appealed to me. Now, maybe if I were flying on the back of King Ghidorah, but yeah. H is for horror. Why do kids love horror? Kids like horror? That's news to me. I hated horror when I was a kid. Do I have a favorite horror film? Not really, no. I'm not a big fan of horror. H is for Hemingway. Hemingway or Fitzgerald? Neither. I've never read much by either one, but what I have read never impressed me all that much. H is for hardback. Do you prefer hardbacks or paperbacks? I think I like both, maybe not quite equally. In some cases, I have a preference for paperbacks, but I do also have quite a number of hardcovers or hardbacks in my collection. H is for Hardy. Which is your favorite Thomas Hardy novel? I've never read Thomas Hardy. Kind of to go back to my video from yesterday when I talked about my like of Victober plans, I'm not the biggest fan of the Victorians. And so maybe I might pick up a Hardy novel sometime soon if I do go with my idea to add more Victorian literature to my collection, but we shall see. I don't know. But for right now, I don't have one because I've never read him. H is for hot. If you are in the Northern Hemisphere, how are you coping with the heat? So I think this tag was published, yes, July 4th. So the very beginnings of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Right now it is the beginning of fall, as much as there is a fall in Central Texas. But it's basically having the air conditioner running full stop is my method of dealing with the heat. H is for Hunger Games. Do you prefer the Hunger Games or Harry Potter? I have never read the Hunger Games. And so I can't really say. But again, if I were 10 years younger, because I think the Hunger Games, no? Yeah, I want to say the Hunger Games came out in the 2000s. So I might have still been around that age if I were 10 years younger. Although in this case, maybe 15 years younger. But I've never felt a desire to read it, so no. Neither. Summon King Ghidorah. Both locations, both settings. H is for honey. Pooh was addicted to honey. What is your sweet addiction? I have a ton. Vanilla ice cream with Oreo cookies or Big Red floats or various kinds of cakes. I just recently did lemon bundt cake, and I did just last week tried an orange chocolate chip cupcake with chocolate ganache icing, which turned out fairly well. Also recently made some sugar cookies, brownies. So yeah, I definitely have a sweet tooth, and I basically try to make all of my sweets, except for the ice cream. Even though there is a recipe or two that I have for no churn ice cream, which I might try out one of these days. Anyway, moving on to H is for Handmaid's Tale. If you've read the book, what did you think of it? I only read maybe about a page or two before I wanted to throw it across the room. I don't think science fiction is one of Margaret Atwood's strong suits. And finally, H is for Hopper. What are your thoughts on the works of Edward Hopper, the American painter? I completely forgot to actually look up his work to see what I think of it. Sorry. So yeah, that was the H tag. If you'd like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. I will be right back with a few more videos. So until then, BookTube, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.